Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Grime Gameplays Disco Elysium. As always, behind the controller or keyboard, it's me, Nutchucks, and with me, as always,
leaning in over his shoulder and saying you shouldn't do it like that, is browbeat.
Indeed, I shouldn't. So, if I remember correctly, the last time we played, we gave guy behind desk the bird. I moved in with some old lady across the harbor, and I found out my name is actually Harry Dubois.
Harrier.
Harrier, yes.
Great nom de guerre. Well, you can always choose to refute that, but yeah, the paperwork seems to check out.
Well, so with that being said, let's check the ledger here, or journal. Find the cryptozoologist.
Close enough.
Gotta find that damn cryptocurrency. Where's this fucking Bitcoin across the sea? Sir, do you realize cryptocurrency's in a computer? Fuck off!
Who are you to am anything?
Find speed and sniff it.
What is spirit is eternal?
What, where?
Wednesday.
Oh, spirit is eternal. The horrific necktie is getting ready for the end game. For the love of God, do not remove it till the magic happens. Hold on to the spirits and wait for the signal.
Sounds, ominous.
Indeed.
And how are those signatures doing for Everard?
Let's find out. Where's the signatures? Put the envelope in mailbox. Let's go do that. Where is thine mailbox?
Why, it's right outside the whirling.
Is it?
But whatever you do, please don't call Abigail.
We will not call Abigail. We'll help our homie out. Oh yeah, we also found out that Harry here went full Dukes of Hazzard, jumped across the harbor, crashed his police vehicle, and is now frozen in the lake, and those things cost 40,000 real.
Well, he didn't quite crash it. He didn't quite... That wasn't for the full sequence, but I guess you have to stock up on some alcohol and go talk to Idiot Doomspiral for another story.
Alright, where's the mailbox?
Little southerly, and a lot more westerly. Bad left, goddammit!
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
That's right, because I kicked it.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
I knew we'd get to use this mailbox for something.
Drop the white envelope into the mailbox. I'm going one.
Kicking.
Fuck you.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
Okay, I guess change of plans. Go to the harbor.
Alright, going to the harbor.
Okay. It feels kind of cozy there now, like they're expecting you, like friends.
Yeah.
Racist? Go on. I do not pollute my body with anything. Smokes cigarette.
Cries himself to sleep at night.
It's quite possible, honestly. But at the same time, you've known potato-shaped people in your life that are ambling about the only way they know how, and you understand there's nothing you can teach them because they're not in the market for learning.
Nope.
So you can try and avoid them. You can try and talk to them. It's your effort economy. You decide what's important.
Wonder how pissed he's gonna get once he finds out we did not get the correct signatures.
That's an interesting question. I wonder if you can tell him.
I'm not going to.
Hey, Everard, I fooled you.
Did you help me find my gun?
Lost gun!
He's helping me find my gun.
Mr. Everard is helping me find my lost gun.
Wild Pines.
Whenever that particular thread starts up in comments, it's beautiful to see how long it can go before someone breaks the cycle. Usually 4 or 5 posts until someone tries to be the skills.
Alright, where's he at?
Whenever you see his face, it's one of those. It qualifies for images you can hear. You see the smile? Mr. Dubois! As we'll see shortly. Also, when he talks, gun is spelled G-A-N.
Is it really?
Well, that's the way he says it.
Well, I'm going to give you a fun fact, sir. Grape mixed with Loch Lomond original single malt scotch is not good.
Yeah. That's everything about that is a bad idea. But you made your choices.
Mr. Dubois,
I did.
I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success. That's such a relief. Titus can be a handful sometimes.
His grin widens.
Now, what can Everard Clare do for you today?
I've just finished investigating the local drug trade.
It's done. I mailed the signatures you asked me to mail. Excuse me.
Murder details?
Let's go 2. Let's see where that leads us.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this.
He claps his hands together like a child who has just been offered cotton candy.
My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a real future, Harry, and I feel I can finally trust you now.
Is it because
You're
I'm a
in
man
my
of the left?
inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Oh,
See?
Bratan, you play the old man like a 3-string banjo. He has no idea.
The signatures I got. I know you plan to force them out with a construction noise.
Did you order the hanged man killed?
Can I get my gun now?
That's it for now. Let's go with 3.
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done.
You bastard!
Fine, where is it? Let's go 2. I don't
An
know.
old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
So the gun is still with the woman who bought it from Roy.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway,
He smiles and shakes his head in wonderment.
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you. Don't worry, Harry.
the neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Wait,
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
she was waving it around at people?
Who is this old woman?
Can you set up a meeting?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
There it is again. The pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
Smile flickers in the corner of his mouth.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
Waving, though?
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt. I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
Claps his hands. Fish Village.
We'll be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
I did not, Harry. Although I am very, very glad he's dead.
He shakes his head energetically. What do you gain from him being dead?
Okay, another question.
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
They're trained military people. Aren't you afraid for your men?
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1. And that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
Yeah, everyone hates them. Except ultra-liberals, maybe, which happens to be me.
How is this connected to the strike?
I strongly suggest number 1.
You're not an ultra-liberal, Harry. Get the fuck out of here. Don't be a retard.
He smiles warmly.
Thank you.
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that.
He pauses to rub his chin.
We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
Hey, Chucks,
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
What's up?
isn't it refreshing that he's being direct with you?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance.
What?
Why are you telling me your plans?
What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying. Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
He looks at the swordfish clock and nods. How many of you guys are there in the Union?
How are you going to fund your new independent harbor?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
He replies like a whip.
And they're all well motivated. At least the ones you've seen.
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Everything?
We've been running back channel negotiations with all the major clients. I think the company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
Old exotic, huh?
Drug trafficking.
Yeah.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
Heard this speech before somewhere. Something about big pharma? That's just the top of the iceberg, though, isn't it?
God, that sounds shady.
Digging it, Everard. I have to say, I'm digging this part.
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
He makes air
We're going
quotes.
to transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his benefit, and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperazole.
He slams his fist on the desk once more.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidon.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned.
He smiles.
But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
Drugs are a no-go for me. I'll report this.
I have to admit, That's a well put together plan, and far removed from you.
Interesting stuff. I just want to solve this murder, okay?
Makes sense to regulate the drug trade like this. Keeps it out. Excuse me. Keeps it out of more dangerous hands. Sorry, I had to cough at the same time.
Which way would you go, detective?
Let's go
It's
too.
also far removed from my men and the people of Martinez who've put their trust in me.
He smiles slyly.
Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbor's turnover, just like the harbor is, but a small part of Martinez.
It would still be illegal.
So is there a trade or isn't there?
Go on.
Say nothing.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel.
I do want to weld
I'm
steel.
gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's gonna be in on the wealth, and everyone's gonna pull their weight.
That's pretty lefty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if it has the word incorporate in it, then I like it. I'm a money guy.
That's very ambitious. I love what you're doing for the working man.
I'm not feeling a whole lot of Revachol here. Not enough flags or kings.
Honestly, it's not my place to judge or express an opinion.
Politics.
Yeah. Let's go 3.
Harry, the future I have in store for Martinez will have all the macho aesthetics you love so much. The crowns, the guns. I will even slip in a skull and bones for you, my friend.
Aw, for me?
Oh yeah, skull and bones. Skull and bones on the Revacholian flag. The Revacholian Death Squad. Oh yeah, the visual image has completely bedazzled you. You're 100% with Everard now.
Damn it, Chucks. So, checkpoint here.
Hmm?
This conversation sure is not going the way you expected it to, yeah?
No, not at all.
What are you learning?
He's a shady man, and nothing's gonna get done. And he's trying to, essentially make Martinez independent. And he's gonna be doing a lot of drug dealing,
But why would he do that?
money, power.
That's true. Those are absolutely true. Do you think that he'll be able to possess sums of money after the strike war and then apply those sums of money?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think he's going to reinvest in his community?
No.
Well, he has to. To build infrastructure, you have to. And despite all the shade and such, does that not beat pockmarked, ruined streets for 50 years where nothing's been happening in the owners of the moral intern?
It does, but will he though? And I don't think he will.
That's a firm possibility. That might never happen. But if he doesn't do this, then things stay exactly as they are because moralists love the status quo. So I'm not fully against his plan here.
Yeah. I'm not 100% against it, but it all depends on what happens. All right, let's go with 1.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
So the village is doomed.
Lieutenant says grimly.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it.
Because he went out of border checks. This is the first time he's slamming his fist on the table.
Reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
What do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth center supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing.
So you're from the south. How do you like those youth-centered supermarket church complexes?
That's why I laughed.
I mean, it's a highly proven model, right? It's effective.
100% proven. Welcome to the
Nice.
South.
Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
Youth supermarket church complex. Do you really expect me to believe that?
Low income housing? If even part of this is true, then why not?
And life. Mhm. I knew you were a man of the people, Everard.
I gotta go one.
Yes, I do. I got the center, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain. The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that.
Wait, but will you erect a statue to yourself?
Joyce was right when she said you were up up to something. Excuse me.
Sounds like you got this. You can rely on my vote.
Let's
I'm
find
not
out.
a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, workers on welfare, and landowners in Azon hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
You would look nice as a statue.
Damn right I am, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as she is one day. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
Fist lands on the table a third time.
A true flash of anger in him, as he thinks of her.
Yeah, he hasn't really sworn, like, at all to us in the first few meetings.
Well-
But now that part of his inner circle, he can be a little more direct, you know?
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry.
His
You
eyes
can
are
bother
shining.
Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big time mode, Harry.
I guess that's it for
Great,
now.
Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Suddenly, there's a sadness in his tone.
This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
He points to you, then himself.
Most certainly, Harry. Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming these things with you.
Nope.
By
Nope.
all means, Harry, what's on your mind? Ah, yes, your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Ease
Not
this
even
punch.
a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Oh shit. Okay, well I guess it's time to go.
Nothing more to say to Everard Clare right now.
Nope.
We finally have a lead to our lost gun. That's been found 2 days ago. That'd be Monday. You prick.
Some
Well,
old
Chucks?
lady.
How you feel about your contributions to the union's affairs?
Hit and miss. I mean, I am questioning whether or not this is actually going to work out the way he says. Let's talk to him, because I think that's what he said runs his mouth.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk to Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she
Hold on.
opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
Leo! In the future, can we keep this greeting shorter?
We're going to go with that. But to answer your question, I doubt Everard's going to do the way he is, because anybody who gets that type of power and money does not do what they say they're going to do. So let's click one, though.
What about his brother? Maybe Edgar will do it.
Nope, he won't do it either.
Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always willing to help out nice fellows such as yourself.
He smiles, his disarming smile, and looks deep into your eye. Leo, you seem to know everyone around here. I want to ask about someone.
Mr. Evrat doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys.
He
But
thinks.
who did you want to talk about?
Just tell me about this Edgar guy you keep mentioning.
Tell me about Manana.
Tell me about my great race mentor, Measurehead.
Tell me about Titus.
Tell me about Everard.
Tell me about Renee.
Actually, I want to talk to you about something else.
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrat's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revachol, they say.
Let me stop you there, Leo. I had another question.
Don't interrupt, Leo. Let's not interrupt him.
All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa.
He chuckles.
Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again. He's
Manana.
a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes.
All silent, hesitating.
Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
It's a decent gig.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Measurehead.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that.
He suddenly falls quiet.
Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. Heh, I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
Oof.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
Little man rubs a patch on his elbow.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
If anything, the... What? Oh, if anything, the ever-present smile on Leo's face gets even warmer.
What'd you mess up there?
Well, if you read the words, if anything, the ever, if you don't finish that phrase, it's really awkward.
Anything the ever. Yeah. I would make it. Alright, Renee.
The night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong, silent type, you could say.
Leo looks at the guard booth on the wall.
We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old Renee.
That's sweet.
They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember. Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. I remember once.
Hold up. Gaston was your human studies teacher?
I have another person in mind.
Mr. Martin, yes. Don't really remember much about him. I was just a boy back then.
Well,
Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
he really wanted to help you. And you did, Leo. You give us flavor and character.
Indeed.
And Luke may actually be a dragon.
He is a dragon. He is
Who?
Bruce Lee incarnate.
I was thinking more Ray Fiennes.
Yeah, that one too. That works.
However, he does fall impotent when it comes to attempting to propagate his kind with Koi Kaz. Anything in that booth that you ever found out
What, up here?
while we're here? Yeah, just take a peeksy poo. Peeksy poo!
This is the night
Nope.
watchman's booth.
Nope.
The name.
Hey, some things you just don't see. That's okay. There were a couple times I was mystified at how are we in this room and it's not alright because stats.
Like, open the door. I gotta back off the door to open the door.
At least he didn't go with the door.
Yeah. I open the door and go with the door.
Yeah.
What?
That for real happened with a party member during a tabletop game, and I wish to disrespectfully have a character that's written to be the player from our campaign would act in the same overly sincere, dorky fashion. It's technically assassination of character and slander when it comes to a real human being, but I don't think we'll be talking again in our lifetime, so I'm reasonably comfortable aping this man's personality as a caricature.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, sir, should we talk to Gaston and the honey?
Let's go talk. Let's go talk to the No, wait. Candlestick is Gaston. Yeah, no, Gaston's the bad guy. Damn it! Under the Sea or some shit. I don't know. Name a Disney movie. There you go.
If Gaston were to become a piece of enchanted furniture, what would he be?
Dildo. Because he's a giant dick. No, in all serious.
Would the beast have a possession of an item like that?
It's just all the workers getting turned into stuff, and all of a sudden they just left. There's this old fucker just getting turned into a dick, and they're like, the fuck?
It's a George Lucas moment where he picks up the dildo, picks up the figurine of the beast, and says, "They're friends."
Yeah. He's the only one who doesn't get turned back in the end.
Maybe, yeah, he prefers it this way.
Such a pleasure to see
No,
you again.
we have to increase. What do we need again?
How may I head the citizens'
Rhetoric, of
militia
course.
on
Rhetoric,
this
yeah.
fine day?
Officer. God damn it. Pull yourself together, René. What do you want?
Rubs his chest and spits.
How is it low? We only need a 7.
Uh-huh.
Composure's 3.
We only need a 14.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
5 against 14. That's 9.
That's 9. Yeah, excuse me, bad math.
Still, all you see is an old soldier refusing
Got
to
an 8.
replace his uniform with a civilian attire.
Anything else I can assist you with, officer?
Maybe one day. Maybe one
I
day.
still have...
All right. Well, let's take a look at let's take a look what we got here. What we got?
Lost gun! Not
Old
till-
fish market at 2,200. Yep. We got to shove the spirits up our ass according to the tie.
Yeah.
No. Prove to authority. Titus.
We can try.
No. We found the speed.
Did we?
We did. Homeboy's got speed. We just didn't. I didn't pay for it because we didn't have
Yeah.
the money.
That's, yeah, money, our liquidity situation could take us some improvement.
Well, I can turn in some tar.
I have another idea, if you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not a good one. It requires a frustrating conversation and a little bit of min-maxing, but how would you feel about that?
You talking about going to talk to Joyce and beg for money?
No. It's a little more creative than that.
All right, go ahead.
But we have to cross the waterlock. And we have to go past the fishing village.
Past the fishing village.
It's at least a bit. And this is one of those things that I know, and you don't, and if I never say anything, it might not happen.
Do I go south or
A little more west.
back yonder?
Northwards until you start to see boardwalky things.
Well, let's look at this first. Rust eaten letter red mazut.
Look at all the morbs. The rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these reeds. Oh, this is a lovely river.
Indeed.
Not quite up there. Back off, and follow the left side. A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. You can imagine why. Calls become terrible sometimes.
Which way am I going?
Yep, follow that boardwalk there. Southerly. And then up to mount it. Ooh, there's a man. Speak to this man.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kisuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
How you know Kim, buddy?
Nice to meet you.
Lieutenant nods. Hold on. Hypertext?
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
You and Kim know each other.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He says as if it's self-evident.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
That's how people usually feel when speaking to Browbeat.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately. But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Points to the building again.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
What a curious thought. Chucks, any ideas?
Not sure.
What's so fascinating about an empty old building?
You look like, excuse me, you look like someone who has money. Do you have any money?
Great. Thank you for all the interesting information.
I'm assuming you want me to go with 2.
Yeah.
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not a thing at all.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling.
Could I have some of that unimportant money then?
I don't want your money. I just wanted to see whether my profiling skills were working. Go with 1.
No. 2.
Of course, Detective, I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact,
He looks up again, a playful hint shining in his eyes.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
He squeezes his son's shoulder lightly. Oh, Chucks, you thought I brought us here to beg for money? No.
Oh, okay. We're gonna kill him and take his money. Got it.
Uh-huh.
Alright.
Tell the kid.
Aha, but it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes as if to shield himself from the pattering rain. All 4 of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Oh no, encyclopedia, why? Look at the building looming over you.
Damn. Wait, what's an R&D department?
I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
Okay, cool. What's R&D?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore.
He smiles brightly, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
Bookhead, good term.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts his suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
He gestures towards the building and grins. What was that ace?
Very, very interesting. Let's get back to this later.
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
He pauses for effect. A tape computer!
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Grime, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just pronounced. What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other buildings, then continues.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk? Look under your feet.
What happened to the engineers, the company people?
What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers?
I wanted to ask something else.
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
The fuck's a pleasure wheel?
A pleasure wheel?
The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel, lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
Sad, though. What happened to him?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He smiles again, as if he is somehow personally responsible for this bleak turn of events.
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
He says while his son looks up, idly chewing on the corner of his Verm-themed coloring book. What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
Yeah, that.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bom Becer d'Insolente. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree.
I see, so this is the "We're commies now" address.
I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in Worms to be paying any attention.
He looks at his son, who starts giggling, his face hidden behind the book.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
He did it. He said, Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world.
What did you just say?
What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Oh, okay. The Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? Paul Ackerman, Keith and Guy Juiced? What are you talking about?
Okay, back to where we were. Tape computers, I think.
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ackerman, chose to...
There it is again, those words. You're making this up. Turn to the lieutenant. Kim, is he making this up?
Come on, there is no place called the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center of Arts. All right, let's go one.
In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
He clears his throat.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Nod. Cool.
I've seen cooler things than that.
The RCM should get some of those.
I'll let you choose.
I'd say scoff at him.
So one. Two.
Two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad. I
certainly
said two. I had my thing on two, and I said one still.
Economic causes of the revolution. It pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The failed playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Wait, the failed playback experiment?
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it? Excuse me.
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the failed playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why'd they smash it, though?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
Takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind.
But of course, what else?
Back out of the conversation, please.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Michaela here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Check out that new thought. We're gonna have to ditch a thought.
Oh wait, Humpty Dumpty Comp Center. There it is. What? -1 suggestion? Oh, it's only 42 minutes though.
It's Wednesday evening and something heinously exciting is underway. People have gathered beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 29-year-old Wonder Twins Guy and Keith Juiced are the stars of the show with their bomber jackets and white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibition. It's the Wompty Dumpty Dommiest event of the year, and all the cool kids have RSVP'd. Where are you if you're not there? Let's ditch the volumetric shit compressor.
Where is
Bottom
it?
right. Right.
Forget?
Unless you want to drop something else.
Nope, that's fine.
Slot in Wompty Dumpty Dom.
Where did Humpty Dumpty Dum go?
Excellent. Now, go to your skills. Okay. This is going to sound crazy, but I need you to put... Okay, not yet. You're right, Browbeat, you're right. Wait a second. For now, just exit that conversation. and grab his save so we can pinch it off right here.
Okay.
The path, no way on from here. Next time, folks.
All right, guys. It's been a fun adventure this episode. Till next time. See you then.